Bonaventure Valley Public Meeting on Tuesday, December 17th, 2024. The applicant is Ray Pilon. Being 5 p.m., this meeting held by council in accordance with section 34 of the Municipal Act is called to order. Members are to state any pecuniary interest and the general nature thereof before items are discussed. Are there any declarations this evening? I see none. I need an approval of the following 2024 public meeting minutes from November 19th, Shoreline Purchase, Fleagle Whitkey Road. From November 19th, Shoreline Purchase, Hodge, Rocky Point Drive. From November 19th, Shoreline Purchase, McKay, 125 Belina Way. And November 19th, 2024, closure of Fee Big Road, Pelon, which we have tabled to today. May I have a mover, please? Moved by Brent. All in favor? Great. Oh, sorry. Were there any errors or omissions? Excellent. Approval to reconvene the public meeting matter tabled on November 19th. The matter being brought back for further discussion is to consider an application for the closing of a portion of Fee Big Road located on Concession 3, Lot 13 in the geographic township of Grattan. Road is located at 487 Fee Big Road. The road closure would take place after a new road is created and assumed for public use by the municipality. In accordance with section 34 of the Municipal Act, before passing a bylaw to permanently close a highway, a municipality must give public notice of its intention to pass the bylaw. Would the clerk please report on the circulation of notices?
The notice of the public meeting appeared in the October 16, 2024 edition of the Eagle Leader. On October 16, 2024, the notice was circulated to all property owners within 120 meters of the subject property. It was sent on October 16, 2024 to the appropriate agencies. The notice of the meeting was also posted on the township's website.
Thank you. The notice having been given, I now declare this meeting properly constituted to transact its business. Would the clerk please report on any written comments received?
Included in this public meeting packages were all the documents submitted by Mr. Flett and Mr. Pilon. Comments are summarized as: the intent of the road was to provide access to various property owners along Fee Big Road, including the Linden property now owned by Mr. Pilon. My title searcher, Kenny Abstract, shows a road out in the water in part, and it enters my property from the water. I would ask that you do not grant this road closure unless it includes the road to abut my property as originally intended. Terry Flett. I respectfully ask council to look at the legal facts and recognize that this road issue has nothing to do with him. His property does not have a legal right of way to Fee Big Road. The road is 100% on lot 13, concession 3 that belongs to Mr. Pilon, Ray Pilon.
Do any members of the public wish to speak to the closing of a portion of Fee Big Road located on Concession 3, Lot 13 in the geographic township of Grattan? Hang on. You're not a member of the public, hang on.
I have no,
Does it? Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
I have no comments.
Okay. I figured that your comments would be with, yeah. Does the owner or agent for the property wish to speak to the closing of a portion of Fee Big Road located on Concession 3, Lot 13 in the geographic township of Grattan? You would like?
Not the owner.
He's not the owner, Mr. Pilon.
I don't, no.
Okay. So you're wanting Mr.
Oh.
Flett? Yeah, that's why I was.
Sorry, I was thinking. Sorry, I missed that because I was
That's okay.
thinking that there was an opportunity after. Yes,
Yeah.
you go ahead. Sorry, Mr.
Yeah.
Fleck, go ahead.
You're the owner.
Right. We are, you are
Exactly,
correct.
yeah.
Sorry, you go ahead, sir.
Mayor, councilors. I submitted other three things in writing. Will they be read out?
Yep. We have all of that information. Thank you.
I think in summarizing, I won't take all your time. I'm sure you hopefully read all that correspondence. I believe that the new road is to be built. It must abut my property. Over the boundary of lot 12 and lot 13 on concession 3. And I would hand you a little Mr. Pilon's map with my understanding of where the road might go if you decide to close part of the road. And I could give that to you.
We have that actually.
I don't think so. Made that up this afternoon.
Oh, because we do have maps.
No, but he's got.
Oh, you got, oh, sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
think
Thank you.
Sure.
the road should go.
Sorry, we've had so many maps.
Yes, I
John,
can understand.
That's the township.
Yeah.
If
I know.
There's two.
So many maps so little time.
Put
Okay,
them that way so you can hand them out easier.
okay.
That right?
Oh, okay, I see what you're doing. Okay, got it.
He's collating
I'm collating.
by hand. Thanks, Erica.
No problem.
Yes, I do.
There's three on this one, that's why.
Okay.
Sorry. John.
I told you I'm playing that game, you know, which,
Yeah.
where are the differences? Now I got it.
Okay, we're gonna go that way. Nope, those are the same. There you go. This is different.
Got it.
Okay,
So you can see in either of the maps, my suggestion is, you can see where lot 12 is.
mm-hmm,
And you can see where lot 13 is.
mm-hmm,
And you could see either on the whitish line, to the road going through where Mr. Pilon wishes it to go. When it gets up to the top, it goes across, and down my property line.
Okay.
The other one is, maybe a shortcut, if you want to call it that. A more grayish line, going up behind Mr. Pilon's building and already giving access to the water. And like unobstructed access to the water, without the road there. Going past his buildings, you can see his buildings there. And cutting across to the old road as it is now, going up the line and across in order that Phoenix would have, and Kirkhoffs would have access to their land even.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, now, does the owner or agent for the property wish to speak to the closing of a portion of Phoenix Road located on concession 3, lot 13 in the geographic township of Grattan?
Yes. It was in regards to, I think, Mr. Flett's latest comments in that he had water access through a road that came under the water, which I think is a shore allowance.
The shore road allowance.
No, it's the line. The survey goes out into the water. I think my comment was, I think you should survey your land. And you'll find, I think it goes out in the water.
Okay, that was your comment. My apologies.
Yeah, the line does go out into the water. But there was no road on the line in the water. And I thought that you were referring to the road allowance around the lake that you now own the land that you bought from Mrs. Phoebe. You've already closed that road allowance after you bought the property. So the road allowance to your property that used to be under the lake, you closed in 2007.
Could I ask that you not debate each other, please?
Oh, okay. No, just-
Sorry, this is, you're supposed to be addressing council. If you want to debate this yourselves
Yeah.
and see if you can come to a mutual agreement, that would be preferable, but you can't do that here. I'm sorry.
No problem. I just thought I would bring that up, that the old what I thought was the road allowance that he was bringing up was closed. I think you all have a copy of that 1589 deed.
Yeah.
That again is very specific in that it only dealt on lot 13 on 3. And both my surveyor and the legal opinion I got this week both agreed that if it was to abut or cross over a boundary at that time, then of course the township of Grattan would have had to have had the neighbor's permission to do that. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, are there any comments and questions from members of council? Now that we've had a couple of weeks to digest this, we got binders, we were provided more information by both the applicant and the neighbor. I'll open it up. Thoughts?
So, is the applicant and neighbor aware of, the CAO's, possible proposals, or is that?
I was going to open this up for Annette. I was just wondering if you had any questions right
All right.
now with the other things that we got. Okay, good. All right, Annette,
Okay,
give us your options.
just because there's a map of.
So many maps.
So I did discuss with Mr. Phelan about closing a smaller portion of the big road as an option. As he's aware, that's not what his request is. That's not the request that came forward to council, but I did have a discussion regarding whether that could be a viable option that would at least still get him his shoreline, but also this decision from the access dispute. So when you look at so this is the map that I presented to council. If you can see, it might be hard to see the two blue lines. So I put one here and one up at the top there across Mr. Phelan's property. And so I was asked to give a couple of different options and thoughts to council. And so my three suggestions. So number one, the request that we have from Mr. Pilon is to close, of course, as you saw, all of Fee Big Road and come down the hydro line, which you can see very clearly there through there. So if that is what council would like to do, then my suggestion from in order to resolve the access dispute, which we can't do because we don't have authority to do it, what I would ask is that if Mr. Pilo would like us to still go ahead to do that, what I would like is a court order that says that Mr. Flett does not have legal access there. I know you have a survey. I know there's lots of documents. But it is, under the Road Access Act, it can only be officially resolved through the courts. If a judge wants to give an order that says an access is legal or not legal, then I would say the same to Mr. Flett. If you want to, that's great. The documentation, I appreciate it. We just don't have the authority to say yay or nay. Whether that's there, we understand the survey. Don't disagree with the survey that Mr. Flett's property does not maybe abut the road, that it does cross a portion of Mr. Pilo's property to get there, but that doesn't mean there's not a right to cross there. I'm not saying there is, just it has to be determined through the courts. So the options would be if we received a court order saying, nope, there is no access right there, then council could close the entirety just as exactly as the original request came through. Option number two would be to close a smaller portion of Fee Big Road, and this is the one that I discussed with Mr. Pilo, whether it was right below where it sort of touches, it doesn't touch, but right below where it sort of corners off to Mr. Flett's property, so below that to here and come down this way. Now, the reason why I put the line here was because when I spoke to Mr. Pilo, we sort of talked about the cost. As you can see, there's some clearing through the hydro line. So if he wanted to avoid the clearing, maybe just having the new road come here, we would close this, still would have the waterfront, would have the natural severance, and we would maintain the road like that. A third option would be, as Mr. Flett has indicated, to close the road as Mr. Pilo has requested, but to have Mr. Pilo build a seasonal road across his property that we would take over for Mr. Flett, so that his access issue would be resolved. And Mr. Pilo would also get the closure of the portion of the road that he wished. and the rebuilding through the hydro line. So those are the three options, just so you're both aware, that I put forward, for council's consideration as a way to give Mr. Pilo the request that he wants for, to some degree, for the waterfront, and for the natural severance, but, without getting involved in an access dispute, which, we don't really have the authority to make a decision on, because it's we can make decisions on new entrances. When you've got something that's, got some older documents to it, is in dispute, is in an already, publicly traveled road that we're closing, it starts to get to a point where, the Road Access Act and other things come into play. And, I need a judge, a court order that tells me, that's, don't worry about it. That access actually is not, legally recognized by the courts. So again, not saying it is or it isn't. I don't know that. I don't have the authority to make that determination. Neither does council. So those were the three options I provided to council for consideration. If those of course satisfy the requester at, or leaving everything. I didn't add option number 4, but obviously option number 4 is always do nothing. So that is really all
Thank
I
you.
have.
Do you want to put the options back up so that
Can
everybody?
I just ask a question on both?
Absolutely, you can.
You're coming to the map?
Yeah.
Please.
Right.
So, Mr. Peon, up here, this triangle here is your property.
Yes, it's,
Okay, and on the other side of that road, is that your property? Does it extend on the other side of that road?
the little corner triangle,
This little triangle, yeah.
so what looks like the blue highlighted,
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
that was the old original road in 1893,
Okay.
okay?
No, but what,
But is
what
this-
Counselor Epps
Is
is
this land
asking
above
is,
that old road? Is that your property above there?
Across that road is Stevig property.
Okay,
okay,
That's concession 4.
thank you.
okay, thank you. All right. Thoughts?
You want the map back up?
No. I just want to make sure I got my option right. Okay, so I think from my perspective, there is a contentious issue here that we cannot solve at this table. And I think probably our best option is option number 2. Why did I think it was option 1? Did you mix them up?
No, I left one because that is Mr. Pilon's request.
Oh, okay,
And
so,
so, in order to give the requester exactly what they want, what I believe the township needs in order to, resolve what appears to be an access issue, would be a court order saying that access is not a legal access for that property. Like that would resolve this 100%. And then council could make the decision exactly as Mr. Pilon requested it. So I was trying to be
Yeah,
true
then-
to the requester for what is it that the township needs to give Mr. Pilon what he wants. That's what I believe we need. And then option 2 is giving him somewhat of what he wants, being the waterfront property,
yeah,
the natural severance, but not closing, the whole portion as was requested. And then number 3 is completely, is sort of satisfying, what Mr. Gillette is requesting in order to still give Mr. Pino what he's requesting, but we're asking Mr. Pino to do something extra. So I moved that further down the line.
okay, so, sorry, I didn't mean you mixed them up. I thought maybe I did.
Oh,
So, okay,
sorry. Okay.
so my preference would be option 2. But is this a bit of a fool's errand if then a judge grants the access and then we have to sort of repeal our decision?
Well, I was gonna say, like option 1 would realistically be in my opinion, would be the simplest.
Yeah, this is where, that's the road I'm going down. Like, am I
Like, I'm not one,
Complicating
for adding
things.
more, like,
Am I
Right, more
complicating things by
bureaucracy
saying
and stuff.
option two?
no, I would say, like, you have option one, that's the clear cut directive. The secondary on that, I have no issues with option number two. That's just up to an adoption or a change on the drawing.
Yeah, it's just,
Yeah.
it's a
And
different,
and
it's a different request.
The difference with that would be if like the road or the road can still be, would technically still be moved. You would, the top section, I guess, would have to be, would be maintained.
Yeah.
And then, but then there still is that, the 6 inches, discretion, like
I
like
know,
how I read the documents, it shows it's on 13. But it's not in it's in contention. So that's why I think number one would be your clear cut directive from it.
otherwise this is gonna keep coming back
Well,
with
keep-
unknowns.
Yeah, exactly. I think option one would be the second. My opinion.
Merv, thoughts?
I agree with Brent there, nice house. I think number one would be my choice. But if it's gonna go to court,
I know,
Gonna cost us more money.
well, not us.
Can I ask Mr. Flood a question regarding the map that he handed out here? Because it bears it's identical as far as I can tell to our option.
Two,
What, no,
that's-
3,
Oh,
short blue straight line.
you're really not supposed to, but yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so if this map involves, does this light shaded area, that's what I want to ask him, does that involve a new access construction to satisfy his needs going across the old road line? Or is that, he's saying that's where close old road?
That's the closed old road, yeah.
He's gonna, but there is no road there, how can he close it? That's why I wanna ask him, this line involves the same road that Annette has put as options.
That's the property line on your
Yeah.
outside.
Yeah.
That's the
That's the
property
property
line.
line.
And right now, off of
Sorry,
Mr.
just
Peel,
grab mine.
off Mr. Peelon, and same as the surveyors, it's 6 inches, so his property line is 6 inches past where any of the road is currently.
But this mark that he's put in light marker, that neither road exists there now. I'm assuming he's saying that's a possible option for him, which is very close to.
You're talking about this right here.
That's the previous.
Yes,
Yes, but on his map, he shows that's why I'd like to ask him, it's simple, he's in the
Yeah.
room. That his line goes across there and down the property line between his property and Mr. Pilon.
Oh, I
So can I
see.
just ask
Okay.
him?
yep, go ahead.
Okay. This was one of the two proposed solutions here. What does this actually represent?
It represents a road owned by the township of Orange Valley.
Okay, so the original road,
Original
the
road.
one going down here. So
Yes.
are you saying that's part of a possible solution for you to use that road?
Yes.
Okay, and then that road would be, okay. So that seems to be identical to the solution that you proposed. Number 3, and as far as I can see it, both option 2 and 3, if we proceed that way, would require the owners of the adjacent properties to agree that one of these is the solution they're going to use. That would not require a judicial order. Going to the judicial order would lock them out, it would lock us out of the decision-making process, and in a way, them too, they would have to accept what the judge decides.
Yes,
Okay,
so that's why I'm saying my preference would be option 2. But am I mucking things up? Because what if they get a judicial order and this has to come back?
are they? But again, this would be up to Mr. Pilon then, so if this is acceptable to Mr. Flett, the one he presented here, and it's the same as our solution 3, if they found agreement, they could avoid all of that and come to agreement and honor the property lines and honor the need for access to Mr. Flett's property.
That would be away from this table.
Absolutely, that's what I'm saying. But either way, for either 2 or 3, regardless of what we say at this table, they would have to come to agreement on those 2 options,
You're right.
right? So
So
then-
then is number 1 cleaner?
Well, number one would be the only one if council's not gonna be, is that there's a difference between if you're interpreting it. So like, if you look at like any of the surveys, it's showing, the Casper survey shows that. Mr. Pelon, like the road that's currently there is entirely on, I think that's concession 13.
Okay.
So that's where, so like what you're saying is like, it's making that 6 inches irrelevant. So that's where I'm saying is the number one option is in my opinion, unless council's gonna say that move forward with her or whatever, the only directive would be, in my opinion, option one, because that's clear cut and there is no questioning it past that. Because we're already questioning right now a survey that's already been done. So like, that's the thing. So like, our township currently uses surveyors all the time. We don't question it. So why are we questioning it now, I guess? So if we're concerned with getting into additional legal or whatever, if we grant the need, and the number one is gonna prevent that, then I have no issues with option number one.
What do you think, Tracy?
I was also leaning towards option two.
But do you see what road I'm going down here? Like
What
the-
happens if what are the legal implications to us as a township if we go with number one? The
None.
judge comes back, there's nothing?
No.
No.
This has been an ongoing. It's very convoluted as you saw from the binder.
Mhm.
There's competing ideas, and that's why I was going with two, but then if it's gotta come back anyway, why don't we just have it cut and dry?
For number one.
So if number one is the answer to the current request in front of us, then that does not stop. That doesn't stop a second request coming forward with a different option.
Absolutely.
But the request in front of us is to close the entire of that section of Phoebe Road and build through the hydro line. What we're
Yes,
saying is we would approve that request if this access issue was 100% verified.
yes,
But because we can't approve it without that, we're not saying no, we're saying yes on condition of receiving this. But that doesn't stop Mr. Pelon or Mr. Fleck from coming forward with further requests.
oh, no, I didn't mean that. I'd just like to see this put to bed properly.
Yeah, so I think
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. We're not
I'm-
changing the request. There's no
No.
request that was asked. In order to say yes to this request, we need this document.
Yes,
But what we're saying is if there's a new request, might be option two, option three, option 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that we haven't thought of, that can always come back.
oh, by all means.
Okay.
By all means, I just don't think this table has the appetite to do something when we're not in a void of information, we've got tons of information,
Mhm.
some of it competing,
Okay,
and I think that it's not that I would love to solve this today at this table, but I don't think we can. I don't think that we are, I don't know.
well, I think we're answering the request that's on the table. The request that's on the table that was submitted as it was submitted, we're saying, this is what I'm hearing, we're saying we approve it if you could supply us with a court document regarding access.
Yes,
If you can't, then we don't approve it, but you're welcome to submit a different option. That's what I'm hearing.
Yep.
Okay,
are we unanimous in this, or do we have?
So proceeding to the judicial review of Mr. Pelon's request, it could be that the judge will say, go ahead, and that'll
Absolutely.
give us the authority we need. He could also say, well, go ahead, but here's what you have to do, and it's slightly different than that plan. But that is, we will abide by that, and the judge will not give us an option that is not workable.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I mean, obviously, this has been going on for a very, very, very long time, and it does need to be solved.
We don't want it to come back again. We'd like to get it solved for both parties.
Absolutely.
Okay, I could agree with number one.
All right. So this therefore completes the public meeting process. Council will consider the arguments for and or against the closing of a portion of Feebig Road located on concession 3 lot 13. The bylaw will be brought forward to council for consideration of passing when a survey has been completed, the new road has been created and assume, oh, that's not right. Any person wishing to receive written notice of the closing of the road allowance being considered at this meeting must leave their name and mailing address with the township clerk in writing. So the bylaw will be brought forward after judicial review. I declare this public meeting closed and adjourned at 5:30 p.m. Thank you, everybody. Merry Christmas, everyone in the gallery. Happy New Year. Everybody keep their binders in their desks. Don't throw anything out.
You said that original road was 1873, is that right, or the original development road?
I think that original road is from your book. That's from 1893.
1893, thank you.
All of that information is in there.
I read it, I didn't remember that date. That's what I just asked, thank you.